Welcome back. Safety crews attending to some of the drivers that were involved in our first incident here of the 2009 season from Daytona International Speedway. And amazingly enough, there was a spin in turn 3, and we knew that was going to bring the caution out. And while we were watching that, the melee began right at the entrance to pit road.
Yeah, that was J.R. Fitzpatrick we saw getting out of that 48 car. And there's Ricky Carmichael, obviously involved in a little pretty square shot with his Monster Energy drink Chevrolet out of the Kevin Harvick stables. There's Tom Hessert. Tom had a great first season last year in the ARCA REMAX Series, was looking for a great run today, and you see a lot of damage to that one car.
Be curious to see if the yellow came out, or when the yellow came out, if someone checked up or what here. But it was in front of the accident here.
Watch Peyton Sellers, that 47 car right there. He goes to the outside, gets a little bit loose. It looks like the tires are up, doesn't it, Kenny?
The right sides were up and left. I believe he just got loose.
Got a little bit loose there, and we're watching this. Meanwhile, you know, right after this happened, he does a nice job letting that car, not letting that car go all the way up to the outside wall. Here's another view of Peyton's car. He had Steve Arp in the 20 car right behind him. You see a lot of guys did a nice job moving to the outside of that car to avoid Peyton. And then you can see the smoke left of your screen. The caution flag was probably out, and somebody more than likely probably checked up. No, there was a contact right there.
The 11 into the back of the 1.
Brian Silas in the 11, and the 1 of Tom Hessert made contact, and that's what started this situation. That happened so early off of turn 4. They may not even have had time to see the caution flag, Kenny.
Did the 11 get into the 1 there?
It looked like
okay.
It looked like they made a little contact there.
Yeah, it looked like the 1 maybe the caution did come out, and obviously until we see timing-wise when that caution came out, it looked like the 11 didn't check up for the 1. It looked like the 1 had started to slow down, and then the 1's back in, kicked around, and the 11 was right behind it.
Look at that camera shot there. It really showed how much of a turn that is in the trial.
Mike Harmon right there in the 24hotjackets.com Chevrolet. I'm sure pit road more than likely is closed with all the safety trucks down there at the end.
You see a little bit of damage to the 39 of Michael Phelps.
And Michael got a little bit of a piece of that incident. Once the 2 cars made contact, the 11 and the 1, and they started spinning around the racetrack, there's unfortunately that's Chase Mattioli. I'm sorry, Brett Butler in the 14 car. Younger brother to Ken Butler III, who ran the ARCA REMAX Series for a couple years, and Ken's going to move on to the Nationwide Series this year.
Going to take one more look at this from a higher angle.
Contact is already made there. The car spinning. There's the 09. Yeah, there's significant contact with the 48 of J.R. Fitzpatrick and the 1 of Tom Hessert.
Situation where Tom Hessert hadn't really locked the car down or stopped it from moving, and the 48 just didn't have anywhere to go.
We saw that Zaxby's Ford, the 09 of John West Townley. He's involved in this incident. He actually cut a left rear tire down in practice. Here's another look. You see, it looks like the 1 and the 11 certainly made contact. I don't know if the 1 came down a little bit or exactly what happened. There's Tom Hessert. He's going to get nailed here by the 48 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. You see all that smoke right there. It's very, very difficult for the drivers to see as they come off turn number 4.
Well, and the sun's probably playing a little bit of heck with them right there too, if they come off sun in the eyes.
Look at the damage to the right side of Tom Hessert's race car.
Great view of all the safety stuff in the right side of those cars. A roll cage.
Steel cages are pretty nice, aren't they?
They are.
Over 7 cars involved in the first one. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It might be the kiss of death for us to go to caution break, or to break, because a caution comes out. A big one once again at Daytona in the ARCA REMAX Series. That's Michael Annett in the 01. He won't make it 3 out of 4 at the super speedways this season. Big accident between he and Allie Owens. They got tied up, and then the domino effect happened after that.
It just looked like they wouldn't stop. The wreck never would stop happening, and then we collected a number of other cars. You see what a tough break for Michael Annett, Shigeru Hattori, and Kenny. Unfortunately, that's your Chevrolet with Bill Baird driving, going to the garage.
Yep, he was spinning and got hit right at the very end.
Bill Baird makes his way into the garage. You see the 16 involved. Quite a few different cars involved.
There's Joey Coulter. That's Benny in the 16. Benny Chastain in the 75. Bob Shack's car.
Joey Coulter is a teammate to Bobby Gerhart at this racetrack. There's Allie Owens in that 19, the electrifyingcareers.com. See the helmet off and the safety crews down there attending to her.
See her moving around inside the car. She took her helmet off. There's the 20 of Steve Arpin. He makes some pretty hard contact with the inside wall, looks like.
Again, this happened. It really started in the middle of 3 and 4, but then it continued on down all the way out of turn number 4. We see Ken Weaver with some damage. Let's take another look.
That's Eddie Mercer, the 51. He may make contact. Looks like they almost got tied up. It looked like he didn't make contact initially, and it maybe got Allie out of the throttle a little bit, Kenny.
Yeah, it was real close. I mean, whether he did or not, but they just kept wrecking. You can see the sun there too isn't helping them at all.
Yeah.
You see Bill Baird sliding, but there was no contact for Bill Baird until later on here.
And then the 99 made contact with the 44 Frank Kimmel. Allie spins back up into the racetrack. Steve Arpin runs into her.
Now one of the cars trying to continue.
And Benny Chastain in the 75. He actually bounces off 2 other cars and then hits the 45 as well. So looks like Benny got 3.
So again, quite a few cars involved. Let's ride along.
That's Frank right behind his nephew Will. Frank got hit. You could hear him get hit and turn him around. Looked like Will must have gotten through it without any incident. This is Matt Carter's on board the Stein Seed Ford. You see the spin right from Matt goes to the bottom of the racetrack, does a nice job running down the apron now. See Frank spinning behind him. Matt almost gets collected by the 45 car of Nur Ali.
13 cars in total involved in this one.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, there's the 19 of Allie Owens getting hit by Steve Arpin, and then that may have been the 30 of Terry Jones right behind the 20 of Steve Arpin. Steve slides into the infield wall there. There's another view. There's Bill fighting up the racetrack. Doesn't appear to have that much damage right now, but I think he's going to get collected here. There's Nur Ali, the 45, against the outside wall. There's a 16 going to hit Nur, as well as a 75 of Benny Chastain.
And they're still wrecking behind him.
Watch the 51 of Eddie Mercer now. They
like
were
he had a
very,
bumper
very close. He may have just touched the back of Allie Owens. Eddie's able to get by, but Allie spins up. Really nothing she could do at this point. Slides across the racetrack. You can see the glare from the sun. And as you've mentioned a couple times, that didn't help that situation.
No, it's hard to. You take that glare of that sun and then put a little smoke with it. You don't know what you're going into.
And maybe a little something on the windshield. I mean, they've been running quite a few laps and they haven't cleaned those off, so that also magnifies the situation.
Well, it's just easy to wreck here when these cars are running this fast, this close together. We see it in the Sprint Cup races, truck races, nationwide, or ARCA.
Maybe a smart call to leave Justin Lofton out in front of this field. He was not collected and remains our leader. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Daytona Beach, Florida. These beautiful views coming to you from DirecTV. Today's aerial coverage is being brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you have got to get DirecTV. Lights are off on the pace car. He'll make a hard left turn onto pit road, and then the field will get back underway as the green flag will come back out. You see on the inside of that second row the Home Depot number 25 of Joey Logano. Mario Gosselin just in front of him in the 12, and the green flag's back in the air.
Yeah, Mario is 2 laps down, so Joey Logano is the first car 1 lap down in the event the caution flag comes out again. But meanwhile, James Buescher is leading this thing, that 32 car.
James Buescher out in front in the number 32. Again, the 12 of Mario Gosselin is 2 laps down to the field, so that's not a battle for the lead of this race. Matter of fact, he's got 2 lap down cars that are giving me a little bit of grief, I'm guessing, at this point. James Buescher would probably like to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Eddie Mercer, that 51 car right there, the Mikusuki Chevrolet out of James Finch's stable, is actually the second place car. And here comes Mikey Kyle on the inside, that 29 car. He's going to use the inside of the racetrack to get by Eddie Mercer.
Mikey Kyle's been strong already today. We saw him running in the top 5 early on in this one.
We've whittled that pack right down now, haven't we?
At the halfway point.
Yes.
40 laps of racing to go. We ride along with Patrick Sheltra.
Matt Carter right in front of him, the 46 car. Matt wiggles a little bit, chases it up the racetrack. Patrick's running in the 5th spot. See him pedal the throttle a little bit. He actually had a little bit of a run on Matt Carter, decided to stay behind Matt. Obviously Matt against the double yellow line, so Patrick really couldn't go down there, although people are sneaking down there a little bit.
Wow.
Cars are moving around quite a bit.
I was going to say,
really
things are heating up already.
Whoa.
Another problem in turns 3 and 4. The 51. Oh, that's Mercer. Eddie Mercer involved in it. The 29.
Matt Carter, Mikey Kyle also involved.
Ryan Fisher in that 50. Oh, no. And then the 28 runs right into the back of them. Chris Cockrum.
99, John Ferry are also involved. You see the 8, Brian Scott, Gabby DiCarlo in the 90. Yeah, in the Great Clips car.
You know, that started right up front.
Sure did. As you were talking, Kenny, it doesn't matter where you are. You can get caught up in something here. You don't have to be at the back of the pack.
We're getting down to a lot of all the cars bitten out of this thing. We're going to have a short field at the end of the race here.
A lot of attrition right now taking place on the racetrack. Ryan Fisher trying to fire that car back up again.
He is able to. You can see the back of that car though, and it's down. The fuel cell rack is actually on the ground. That's why the left rear tire was spinning. See a lot of damage to Eddie Mercer's car right there. Eddie was running up in the top 2 or 3, and there's Mario Goslin. Mario was 2 laps down. Obviously a tremendous amount of damage to his car.
And we see that when the window net's down, obviously that's the signal to the safety crews that the driver has put that down and he's okay. So if they need to attend to someone else quicker, they can. We see Brian Scott climbing out of his race car.
Yeah, Mikey Kyle also going by. Mikey had a great run going, as well as Brian Scott. Let's see if we can take a look at back what happened here. See, there's Mario Goslin. Mikey Kyle kind of chases up the hill and runs into Mario Goslin. That's what starts as Matt Carter with nowhere to go, as well as Eddie Mercer. Patrick Shelter does a nice job getting through that.
Steve Blackburn, or excuse me, Parker Kligerman was involved in that in the 77.
He didn't get. Yeah, you see the damage on the left front. That's the black car back on the grass down there. There's another view. Going to see Mario Goslin. He's going to run and going to move up the hill. Then Mikey Kyle kind of, the air just, I think, takes him up the hill and he makes contact with him, Kenny.
Yeah, but it winds up the same thing. You just plain old run into him. You know, you can give it a bunch of reasons why, but you kind of got to be responsible for the front of your car.
I think the 6 of Lofton actually got into that as well. He brushed somebody that was coming back down the racetrack, it looked like, too. So maybe some damage on his car.
Bobby Gerhardt able to get by on the outside. And then we saw Chris Cockrum, the 28, come in late and make contact. There's another view. There's the contact between Mikey Kyle, the 29, Mario Goslin, the 11. Matt Carter gets caught by Mario Goslin, goes up the hill towards the outside wall. Eddie Mercer comes along with nowhere to go. There's the 6 of Justin Lofton. He makes a little bit of contact with the 29 of Mikey Kyle. There's Will Kimmel, the 68. He makes some contact as well.
Tough day for the Kimmels. We saw Frank Kimmel early on out of this. You see Chris Cockrum staying right on the back bumper of Bobby Gerhardt. It looks like Gerhardt's trying to slow down, but he's got Cockrum right behind him. And as Gerhardt goes high, Cockrum goes low and right into 2 cars parked on the racetrack.
Yeah, well, Chris Cockrum would have done well to have heated the Bobby Gerhardt's trying to slow down there.
Yeah.
There's another view. Matt Carter makes hard contact with the outside wall.
And there's that smoke in the sun. The difficult views that these guys have.
81, Craig Gose coming in on the inside. There's Ryan Fisher's on board. You see Gabby DiCarlo. Gabby's going to get caught up in this as well. There's the contact between Ryan Fisher and Gabby DiCarlo. Another shot to Ryan Fisher's car, the baby mum car. Ooh, and yet another one.
I think I'll grab the steering wheel back again.
That's when you don't take your helmet off and you don't get your seatbelt unstrapped.
Watch Patrick Schittler. He's going to get through this. Now watch this.
Oh, how close.
He gassed it back up to shoot that gap. He did really good. He got off where he needed to and then gassed it back up. But you can see where that sun is factoring in there.
Not much of a view at all for any of these guys.
Ooh.
There went our camera.
Yeah, Eddie Mercer took care of that camera in the back of Matt Carter Stein C car. There's Matt's roof camera.
And again, Matt Carter hit that wall hard.
Sure did.
Just goes to show you what one big mistake really will do at a race like this.
So many people get caught up in it and just coming along innocently, and unfortunately wrong place at the wrong time.
That's why they make you put a helmet on when you get in these things. You just never know what's going to happen.
The second caution of the day happened on lap 30, and it involved 13 cars. Now our third caution happens at lap 40, and it involves 12 cars. So we talk about attrition. We're losing a lot of the field here very quickly as the sun is still setting in Central Florida. And we are definitely having trouble seeing when they have problems in turn number 4. We'll be right back with more from Daytona. Bull Run is coming, and the only place to see it is on Speed. Join Bill Goldberg as he takes 12 teams on the ultimate high-stakes trip. These teams might make it through the desert in one piece, but they'll need to make it through all of his challenges to collect $200 grand in cash and prizes. Bull Run with Bill Goldberg premieres Thursday, February 19th, exclusively on Speed. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Slick Miss 200 from Daytona International Speedway. Attrition has taken its toll on quite a few race cars, but the green flag back out, and we're back underway. James Busher out in front of the field in that number 32.
And remember, James Busher was penalized and actually started from the rear of the field, so he's gone from the back to the front. See, Frank Kimmel jumps to the outside, going to try to lead a pack.
See some damage still to some of those race cars, some sheet metal hanging on.
Remember, 13 cars right now on the lead lap, and Joey Logano is the one that got the Aaron's lucky dog, so he is on the lead lap right now, running behind that 4 of Ken Weaver.
Quite a few cars working their way around this racetrack. Justin, do you miss it? I mean, I know we've only talked to you sparingly here, but being up in the booth maybe a little better today than being on the track.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm up here today, that's for sure. But you know, I do miss the ARCA Series, the REMAX Series here. It was a great building block, and unfortunately today it's not gone the way that everybody had hoped. But it's a great series, and I hope that somebody up there in the front can get a win for the first time. That'd be really cool to see that today.
Well, your story is definitely inspirational. Your family-owned team battling all year long and winning it in the final race of the year was really cool, getting 6 wins last season in the ARCA REMAX Series. We know that obviously now being in the Nationwide Series with the Penske organization, your time is very valuable, so thank you for joining us up here.
Hey, thank you guys for having me up here. This has been great, and I think we got another wreck right here.
Oh, another one.
Never mind, I'm not leaving yet, right?
Oh, into the wall he goes. That's the 39 of Michael Phelps. We saw some damage to his car earlier, and now more. That will, it looks like, end the day for Michael Phelps.
Yeah, Michael was actually the first car running 1 lap down. So we'll have to see if at the time of the caution flag whether he was being considered the front car, and then that would mean no Aaron's lucky dog, but a lot of damage to that 39 car.
He's going to try to drive it back into the garage, but quite a bit shorter than when he started the day.
That water running out of the bottom doesn't help either when you're trying to get back to the garage.
Take another look at this.
So that's Joey Logano on the inside in that 25 car. He just gets a little bit loose as Joey Logano goes by. John Westalley, the 09, was behind him, and he's going to slide, make the long slide. And it's so great that years ago they paved that whole area. A long time, Kenny, we were coming here and that was all grass, and
you're upside
all bets
down.
were off then.
Yeah. Now they did that a number of years ago and just plain old got loose.
How tough would this be? Look how fast he's going straight backwards.
Yeah. He did a nice job of staying in the throttle to get that car down off the banking out of harm's way, and now he goes for the slide for life there. And you see the front tires locked up, so looks like he had the front wheels locked up, and unfortunately still makes hard contact with the inside wall.
Yeah, that's not a good place to wreck either. You know, you're coming out of the corner there, you're trying to get straightened back up, and sometimes this place just feeds you for a loop and off you go. You know?
We didn't have safer barriers there until just a couple years ago too, so that's a good thing.
Have you ever hit there?
I don't know any place I haven't hit.
I've
seen some pretty nasty wrecks of yours, but I don't know if you've ever hit there or not.
Kenny's autographed every inch of the wall he's ever hit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, we see Michael Phelps climbing out of the race car. He will make his way to the infield care center, and I'm sure that they will take that car into the garage, and his day is now done. The Aaron's lucky dog will go to the 99 of John Ferrer. And so he will get his lap back. And we will be back for more racing here on Speed. Welcome back. We're under caution for the 5th time today. And this time it is Bobby Gerhart, 5-time winner of this race. Doesn't look like he's going to be making it 6. Again, just before we went to commercial break, we apologize. We had some audio issues. We believe those are fixed now. So we are going to see the safety crews attend to Bobby Gerhart. Take a look at what happened.
We saw Bobby slowing down there, not able to keep up with that pack, and look, his right front tire goes. You can see the debris fly and the rubber. Bobby makes pretty hard contact with the outside safer barrier, and then as he coasted down to the inside of the racetrack, somebody came by on the inside of him extremely fast.
Really close. Now remember, Bobby Gerhart had a fracture in his neck from Pocono
last year.
Yeah.
And so limited time in the race car. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, year before last.
Yeah.
Right here is that car going by, Phil.
Bobby's coming by, just barely avoids Bobby, and that was
very close.
Looked like maybe the 23 is what that looked like. That might have been.
Larry Hollenbach had slowed a bit. He was dropped back, but that again, the safety crews are working to get Bobby Gerhart out of that race car. 6 laps of racing to go. They cross the start-finish line. James Busher trying to hold off. The 25 of Joey Logano. Patrick Sheltra back up to the 3rd spot. Then right behind him, Justin Lofton started on the pole today. He's running 4th. And John West Townley rounding out our top 5.
Remember, 3 of the 4 guys running up front have had wins in the ARCA REMAX Series. James Busher, actually the very youngest winner we ever had back at Lakeland, Florida a couple years ago. Look at the momentum Joey Logano got with that run on the outside. He laid off him to get a little bit of momentum, and boy, he got it, didn't he, Kenny?
Yes, he did.
Oh, trouble! Justin Lofton into the back of the 60. Patrick Shelton spins. Into the wall he goes. And now Kimball spins around. Oh, what a big hit on Justin, or on the 60 of Patrick Sheltra. Our 6th caution of the day comes out, and what a big hit that was from the 23 of Larry Hollenbach.
Yeah, Larry was running up in the 8th spot when they came by here last time, and boy, did he make hard contact with Patrick Shelton.
The 44 with damage. The 60, that's Patrick Sheltra waiting for that window net to come down.
Just about took the back end off of that car.
The only thing I liked about what I saw there was it got hit towards the back of the car.
It spun him around a lot.
Yeah, not towards the driver's door.
Yeah, safety workers right out there very, very quickly.
They'll go to work trying to attend to the 60 and Patrick Sheltra. Again, what took place was Justin Lofton was just behind Patrick Sheltra. Sheltra moved up the racetrack a bit. It looked like Justin Lofton got into the back of that car then. Sheltra slid around, made contact with the outside wall, and then coming through on the high side, that 23 of Larry Hollenbach made additional contact to the 60 of Patrick Sheltra. We saw the damage to the back of the 44. Frank Kimmel came a lot of damage.
Absolutely nowhere to go.
Safety crews working on Larry Hollenbach as well. Welcome back. Lucas Oil Slick Miss 200 under a red flag condition. Larry Hollenbach in the 23 being helped out of his race car. Take a look at that. What a great sign as Larry Hollenbach salutes the crowd as the safety crew helps him from his race car.
As you can see, they took every precaution, Rick, as you mentioned. They had a backboard out and put Larry on. It looks like he's, obviously in pretty good spirits. It was a big smile as well as a wave and a thumbs up, and now they're going to obviously take him to the infield care center and check him over a little bit more thoroughly.
Again, Larry Hollenbach got into the back portion of the 60 of Patrick Sheltra.
And here's some good news. On Saturday, this horrifying accident in the ARCA REMAX season opener put the driver of the number 60 car, Patrick Sheltra, in the hospital. Doctors diagnosed a compression fracture in his vertebra that will not require surgery. The 22-year-old Sheltra was released from the hospital this morning and is reportedly planning to resume racing as soon as he can.